Morning. We're back here on the playing fields again at Cheadle Heath. It's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm in work at 10, but I thought let's try and do a bit more of this M60 walk. The M60 is just over them trees in the distance. My question is, can we get through there at the back of the houses? I think I already know the answer. Join me as we explore together. Shopping trolleys have obviously given birth since we were here the other day. Remnants of a burnt out car there. You can see the tyre tracks all around here as well. Anyway, back to serious matters. Jan and I might have walked 5 miles together the other morning, but in terms of how much of the M60 we actually covered, it was only 1.7 miles, which is about 5% of the total length. We passed 8 bridges, the River Mersey, we saw some of old Stockport, an awful lot of stuff to be honest. Right, what's over here? Yeah, that ain't happening. Well, there's the M60 people. Alright, what we're going to do, get on Stockport Road and continue west. Jeez, this is like the Berlin Wall, this. Look how thick it is. Oh wow, they've knocked down the old pub on the corner. It's a wee bit busy this time of morning, rush hour obviously. Gorgeous old buildings over there on the left. After the last walk, one of my viewers asked, "Ooh, is there a footpath by the M60? It feels like in that first section, yes there was. But today, so far, no. Any of you watched that series Fallout yet? That is our new favourite. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world. It's based on people who live in vaults, bunkers, underground. On the surface there's all these monsters and weirdos. It's 10 out of 10 from us. You can see, guys, from Strava that just behind these houses here is where the M60 runs. You can certainly hear it. And just on the other side of the M60 is the sewage works, which on a warm day absolutely stinks. The number of times we've driven past there and the kids have asked me, "Dad, have you farted?" No. That was a somewhat pointless detour just to get a little bit closer to the M60. We could have just carried on along Stockport Road. Heathside Park Road just in front of me takes us over what will be the 9th bridge on this video to aforementioned sewage works. What a beautiful big pine tree. Has anyone here ever been to Ibiza? You have loads of these down by the water's edge, and when the sun's on them and they heat up, the smell is gorgeous. It smells like a brand new table. Jamie, have you been out sniffing tables again? We did literally just walk that road at the back of them houses there, guys. We should have just gone down someone's drive and legged it through. That constant flow of aircraft coming overhead into the airport. It's steep. There's just a plethora of birdsong in the background. Obviously this is a very quiet road, no one uses it. We're taking away all the people's poo and wee. Probably. 9th bridge over the M60. Look at that traffic. That is what the M60 looks like at 8:45 on a Monday morning. Madness. Alright, well we've walked about 1.5 miles today. It's not been a long one, but we have done another little section of the motorway. Catch you on the next bit. You alright? What are you saying? We're back for the next bit of the M60 walk, guys. You'll have noticed lately We've not made much progress, that's to say, not covered much distance. The reason being that there's just been so much cool stuff to see. So what we're going to do today is smash junctions 2, 3 and 4, which means we'll see Abney Hall Park, go through Mill Lane Cemetery, see the old Barnes Hospital, and we're going to finish on the other side of Kingsway. Just currently crossing what's known as Roscoe's Spur. And if you carry on up there, guys, you will get to junction 2 of the M60. You can actually see the entrance here, or one of the entrances to Abney Hall Gardens. Basically some beautiful big gardens centred around Abney Hall, a Victorian property that was built in 1847 here in Cheadle. You can see on the map here, guys, that the M60 runs just north of the park. We are going to follow this route here alongside the Roscoe Spur that we've just seen, past the beautiful hall to Manchester Road. Must say I've never been down this end, but Abney Hall Park is just fantastic for a walk, as you will see. I seem to have done the majority of this M60 walk in a bit of a daze. I've literally been on night shifts and early shifts. Been up since 1:30 this morning again, so bear with me if it's all just a bit woo. Got a sign here showing Ring Road South. What I found in the woods, little base here. Cool stuff. Now everyone's heard of Agatha Christie. Is it Murder on the Orient Express and all that? There's some sort of history with her here at Abney Hall, where she came and stayed with her nephew, Mr. Watts, when she lost her memory, and she wrote some books here as well. Me being the daft lad I am, I've gone and forgot my guide to the M60 that I had with Jan. So a little bit of homework for you viewers. Google it. Agatha Christie and Abney Hall. This is a beautiful little nature reserve, all sorts of little lakes over here in the trees. Let me just show you one quickly. Plenty of flies as well this time of year, but yeah. Obviously a popular spot as well for runners on a Monday lunchtime, which it is now. Must have passed at least 4 already on this half-mile stretch. When you were kids, were you ever daft like me? You get a nettle with the tips of your fingers. Pick it like that, it doesn't sting if you do it that way, and then get your friends on the face with it, just to be a knob. For all this walk is just following a road. We've seen some nice stuff and we've seen some cool stuff. Look at these trees, prime example. Fantastic. Weird old shapes, growths, graffiti. Pippa. Where's Pippa now? Not sure what this sign had on it originally, but whatever information it divulged seems to be long gone. As I wander along here in my own thoughts, I can't help but marvel at the diversity of flora in this park. You've got an oak tree here, you've got bracken, the old dock leaf, in case you do sting yourself on a nettle. We've got some beautiful buttercups. That's a game to play if you come down here. Just how many species do you recognise? Not sure what Abney Hall is nowadays. I believe this bit over here on my left is a care home. As for the original mansion that belonged to James Watts, I think it's just offices now. The good news is we have now reached junction 2 of the M60, people. Wow, that's noisy. Wow, what a fantastic gate, complete with a clock showing pretty much the correct time as well. That must be the care home bit, the lovely rhododendrons all around and what was probably the original boundary wall. This in front of me is Abney Hall, as I said, built in 1847. Let's just try and have a little walk up to it, see what we can see. What an absolute beautiful building. Looks like an architect's drawing room in this bit. Tables with lamps. or a reading room. Wow, how absolutely stunning. It looks like a stately home. Obviously just looking through the window here, but recommended to visit this place, if not just for the gardens. Maybe we'll just sit here for a while and admire the view on such a gorgeous sunny day. Can't beat a Wikipedia, right? Sir James Watt's great-grandson, James Watts, was the last private owner of Abney Hall and the only nephew of Agatha Christie. He was elected as a Member of Parliament in 1959, but died in office 2 years later, aged 57. What we see behind me is the southern face of Abney Hall, looking to the north, and just absolutely stunning. I love it. There's even stained glass windows up here. There is a waterfall up here as well somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. It forms part of Chorlton Brook, I believe. I can hear it. What a delightful little scene. Tenpenny Bridge, 1885. So, as we go about leaving the Abney Hall estate, we're going to get to Manchester Road, and just on the other side of the M60, going to be a great view from the bridge, is what was once a railway station. I think it was one of Cheadle's railway stations, which is now a pub, I think. Wow. A little bit wet from that waterfall. Obviously you don't have to be walking the M60 to come and visit Abney Hall. There is literally a car park just here in front of me. Just come along and take it all in. It's brilliant. Car park's just there to your left as you come in. Plenty of spaces. There's our walk so far today. Mile and a half. Even the old gates are stood. The quality of these, they don't make them like that anymore. At this point, we are now halfway between junctions 2 and 3. And things all of a sudden get very noisy again. The pub, the Cheshire Line Tavern, and just at the back is Golden Days Garden Centre. Pretty flowers have probably been donated by the garden centre, I'd imagine. And wow, just look at the building. What a fantastic part of the world. Cheadle, yes please. The pub's website tells us that this railway station opened in 1866 and closed in 1964, lay derelict to the 1980s before opening as a pub. Let's just have a quick walk down the steps, taking in the double gabled frontage. Never been in, but I must say it smells absolutely delicious. Right, let us crack on. No time for sitting drinking pints in pub gardens. As we continue west, we're going to pass through Mill Lane Cemetery, Stockport's newest cemetery, which opened in 1993. We're going to cross Micker Brook, we're going to pass by the old Cheadle Bleach Works, and then we're going to come to what was once an old hospital called Barnes Hospital. I'm just going to skirt around the outside of the cemetery today, just so that we pass by the M60 on the northern edge. In the the back there is the bridge that we just crossed to the old railway station. This path actually looks as though it's separate to the cemetery as we cross over Chorlton Brook. I always found cemeteries to be peaceful places. Just had a little bit too much death in my life recently. I've been to far too many funerals in this last 2 years. Something humbling that reminds you to enjoy every moment that you're here. Don't put things off that you want to do until tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come. This all just got a bit depressing. As we get to the end here, we'll get to the site of the former Cheadle Bleach Works, or Cheadle Lower Mill as it was called, where chlorine bleaching agents were produced for the dye industry in Manchester. It closed down in 1993 and was left derelict until 2008, when it was partially demolished. I actually came down here in 2008 with an old work colleague and friend, Olivier, on a bit of a photographic expedition, I suppose you could call it. It looked like something from a war zone. I actually even took a few videos at the time. It looked like something from a shoot-'em-up computer game like Call of Duty or Medal of Honor. Fantastic. Oh, except all the midges. Like something from Avatar, that, isn't it? Wow. Woing. Slap that mushroom. All the private housing estate now, I suppose. Can we pop our heads in dead quick just to see how different it looks? I can tell you that that chimney was there back in the day, and I actually got inside of it. Totally different. All this lot is brand new. Pretty beautiful.
Olivier. David. David. Right.
Only looking half finished, but I like it. Now, the public footpath that we need runs just by this wall here, just alongside Micker Brook here. I believe my friend Phil used to come down here as a kid, swimming in that. As we cross Micker Brook and the Junction 3 spur that joins Junction 3 down to Kingsway, the A34, to Cheadle and Wilmslow, we reach the old Barnes Hospital. When the former convalescent hospital, which we'll see in a minute, was opened in 1875, this area was a long distance from the industrial smog of Manchester. The site is now surrounded on all sides by a complex interchange of roads between Kingsway, our beloved M60, and the M56. It's a beautiful bit of Victorian Gothic revival architecture and a prominent landmark. How many times did I drive up this road when I worked in Wilmslow, people? More than I'd care to count. And here it is, people, the old hospital. Now, Barnes Hospital took its name from a prominent Manchester cotton trader who donated £26,000 towards its construction. The place looked a whole lot different when me and Olivier came down in 2008. In fact, it was the right state. All quite nicely finished off now, but when me and Olivier visited, a place had just recently been occupied by 100 Romany families, I believe, and the place was in a state of disrepair. But now, as well as the old hospital building, you've got all these new builds around the outside, landscape gardens at the back and a play area for children with a small lake. But I love how they've kept the original architecture, including the clock tower, which you can just see. It was in 1999 that the hospital closed, following which it was used to temporarily house a group of refugees from Kosovo. fantastic. I believe a horror movie was also filmed in here, I think in the 1970s, I forget the name. I think now, as we leave the Barnes estate, we'll make our way under the subway. A dodgy little underpass, if I remember rightly. Not that any underpasses are actually nice by their nature, usually smell of piss. Love Manchester. Jesus, what a place. One rather large, confusing conglomeration of roads. Viewed from space, probably something like Spaghetti Junction. All right. I think we'll leave it at that point. Thanks for coming. Catch you on the next bit. Take care of yourselves.